Hey guys, welcome back. We're on the back of the area and perimeter video. So it says, the figure consists of two concentric circles. That means the center of the circle is in the same spot of both circles. All right, if the shaded area is 64 pi, so let's work backwards. This shaded area, so area of the shaded is 64 pi. Okay, so area of the shaded, 64 pi. We got it. And if the smaller circle has a radius of 6, well, the smaller circle is the unshaded. So let's find the area of the unshaded. So the area of the unshaded is just pi r squared, and the radius of the unshaded is 6, so pi 6 squared, or the area of the unshaded is 36 pi. Okay, so what's our formula? Well, the area of the shaded is equal to the area of the whole thing minus the area of the unshaded, right? So we're actually trying to find what is the radius in inches of the larger circle. Let's find this. We know the area of the shaded is 64 pi. We don't know the area of the whole thing because they haven't told us the radius. We know the area of the unshaded is 36 pi. So we can do a little algebra here. (100 pi) is the area of the whole thing. Interesting. So the area of the whole thing is 100 pi. We also know the area of the whole thing is pi r squared, and that if we knew the radius of the whole thing. So we can solve for radius. We know the area of the whole thing is 100 pi. And we could divide both sides by pi, right? And we could take the square root of both sides, right? So the radius has to be 10. And if these were in inches, that would also be in inches. So let's think about this for a minute. Now if we work the question forward, if the radius of the whole thing is 10, then the area of the whole thing would be 10 times 10 pi, or 100 pi, right? And that's exactly what we got. The area of the whole thing has to be 100 pi, so it had to have been 10. All right, next one. Ooh, this one's kind of neat. The area of the shaded is the area of the whole thing minus the area of the unshaded. So what is the whole thing? It looks like it's 32 times 32. And I wrote that number backwards. And I tried to write the number backwards again. 32 times 32. Okay? Now, what's the area of the circle? Ooh, this is going to take a little thinking. This is the radius, and that's another 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 radius. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 radiuses span the length of 32. So doing a little algebra, we divide 8 on both sides, we get a radius. One radius has to be 4. Okay, so let's see if that makes sense. This is radius 4, 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 radius 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 4s is 32. Yep, so the radius is 4. Okay, so the area of one of the circles is pi radius squared, and my radius is 4. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 of those. So I'm going to multiply that by 16, and that's the area of the unshaded, 16 of these circles. All right, so 32 squared. And I'm going to leave my answer just like that, centimeters squared. That's the area of my shaded. All right, 9. The area of the shaded is the area of the whole minus the area of the unshaded. So the whole thing is 10 by 10, right? 10 times 10 is 100. And the area of the shaded would be pi radius square, whatever the radius is. Let's figure out what the radius is. If the diameter is 10, all the way across is 10, then the radius here has to be 5. Does that make sense? That's 5, that's 5, that's 5, that's 5. So the diameter is 10, so the radius has to be, the diameter is 2 times the radius. So if the diameter was 10, then the radius has to be 5. Okay, so I can plug that in here. Pi 5 squared, so 100 minus 25 pi. That's my answer, centimeters squared. What do we got going on here? We have not a whole circle, but half of a circle. So the area of this whole shape is, well, let's do area shaded is area of the whole minus area of the unshaded. Okay, so, but what's the area of the whole thing? So let's do that off to the side. The area of the whole thing is half of a circle. Half of a circle, it's a semicircle, so it's half of a circle, and the area of the circle is pi r squared. So what is my radius? They're saying this distance is 2, and so this distance would also be 2, and this distance would be 2, and that distance would be 2. So what is the radius of this half of a circle? That would be 4. So the area of my whole thing is 1/2 pi 4 squared. So that'd be 16 pi over 2, or 8 pi. So my whole thing is 8 pi. That's the whole thing. And now I'm going to cut out this unshaded part. So cut out the unshaded part. Well, what is the that's 1/2 of a circle plus another half of a circle. So that is a whole half of a circle. So the area of the unshaded is a whole circle with the radius of 2. So that'd just be pi radius squared, and the radius is 2. So that would be 4 pi. So the area of my unshaded is 4 pi. So what would be the area of my shaded region? It's 8 pi, take away 4 pi, leaving me 4 pi left, centimeters squared. Okay, what do we got going on here? Same formula. I'm going to do area of the shaded equals area of the whole minus area of the unshaded. So what is the whole thing? They told us the whole radius is 4, so that'd be pi 4 squared. And what is the area of this unshaded? That'd be pi 2 squared. So I get 16 pi, take away 4 pi, leaving me 12 pi inches squared. That's it, guys. Thanks for joining me. We will continue to do area and perimeter problems in the next chapter.